though. But maybe since we're on the same, we somehow read them both. But then we come back and negotiate a final contract after reading that new reading. Very confusing.
Mm-hmm.
We just went live. Are you guys? Did you mean to do that?
Yeah, I just we did a brief discussion, so then I was like, well, maybe we just record some of it now. So
Sounds good.
I just thought we.
Well, I'm not sure if he's going to log on. Maybe we should just get going.
Okay. Because I messaged him a couple times and I haven't got any responses, so maybe we just go ahead and start. I don't know if this is fine with you, but maybe we just do an overall negotiation with everybody for right now, and then I guess we just read that one thing.
Okay.
Unless you all want to get on again later.
No.
Nah.
Maybe it's an all-night activity.
Yeah.
Should we do negotiation first and then the reading, or should we read first and then negotiation?
So we've already so the reading that we have to read is something that we did already read, right? Or is this the other piece in the end? I know we just talked about this, but there's so many readings can't keep them straight.
Yeah.
1985 reading you want to do first?
Yeah, the one that's in the lesson 11 discussion prep for both discussion leaders.
In the step 3?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, let's go ahead and just do that.
Those links. Direct your team and have them read that.
So I'm sure they say fairly similar things. I guess, do we want to just like say, summarize roughly kind of what? So like Local 190, what were some main points in the 1985 negotiation?
Let's see. Close this one out. Local 190. Does everyone else have that document up? Or it should say Adam Baxter Company / Local 190 1985 negotiation, Local 190 confidential information. So it tells us it's 1 month prior to the expiration of the contract of the labor agreement. The base wage rate is frozen at $10.69. We've negotiated the wages, and the wages were negotiated at X. So I guess as far as negotiations for wages, I know when we met with, I guess Local 190, we were looking over some of the points of the contract, and our part is the employees for the union and the labor union had been really stuck at 1069 for 5 years now, and they've gone through all the hard times. They've done a lot of the hard work, working extra hours and working at a very fast pace to be able to meet really big production quotas, but with no incentive as far as any kind of incentive pay or increase in the base wage rate, even though the costs of living, can go up and things like that. We went through with the negotiation, and we feel that the Local 190 union would be willing to reduce the 56-week, trying to think what it's called, 56-week no layoff policy or advance notice. to 26 weeks, so basically 6 months, if we're able to negotiate at $11.30 to do a wage increase.
Okay. Erin, do you have any? I'm just if we pull up the other one, let me pull up that. Well, I have that one up. 1985, there was a recession. Erin, do you remember that? Was that what it said in?
Yeah, it was. There was a little recession during that time.
So ours talked more about there being a recession and that we actually our base wage rate was frozen at 10.69, like you mentioned, but that we were higher than most other people in our company. And one thing that was that everyone else was dropping their wages and we were paying our people quite a bit more than everyone else was, and it was costing us a lot of money. And so they had mentioned in the reading that I think they still had the 52-week layoff, but they mentioned dropping it for the Me Too cause, dropping it because if everyone else is dropping their cost, we should also be able to. If usually the Me Too clause means if people give raises, we should also give raises. So for amounts, $11, Erin, what are you thinking?
Mm-hmm. We go up a dollar and to lower the notification of termination by half. Am I correct?
Yeah, essentially 6 months instead of a year, and then raising the wage to $11.30.
There's no more incentive anymore either, right?
Correct. That would be the no incentive. However, we would be willing to do $11 for a wage with just the incentive. We feel that the incentive does a great job of keeping employees motivated and taking pride in their work.
I'm more open to that. The thing with incentive though is we noticed that with Target, the targets, all of our employees were beyond able to meet them, and so we think the goals should at least be brought up 10%, that they should have higher productivity, and we would be more willing to give incentives if the targets.
Okay.
They had to do more.
That would be fine, where we know that so far the autonomy has already been kind of taken to where you as management would be in control of the targets. We would just ask that if you increase the target, that you also make sure that employee, what's it called? Employee getting hurt on the job, essentially, that stays down.
Employee safety improves.
Exactly, like that you don't raise the targets so high that employee safety becomes an issue. That would be our only concern with that, but we'd be fine with you setting the targets. And if we could do just $11 an hour and then have the employees have a target incentive, that would be that they would appreciate that. They would feel like that they're appreciated as workers and that they'd take pride in their work.
I'm fine with that. I think $11 an hour isn't too much raised, and of course we wouldn't raise the goals so far up that people would have to get hurt. It would just be just enough that it's still attainable, but it also is more difficult, and it takes a little bit more motivation from employees to reach the incentives. I'm okay with that. My only other thing too, I guess we could talk about, is the Me Too clause. Did it mention that at all in your guys' reading?
Yeah.
With the Me Too clause, do you guys, let's say if all of our other competition all of a sudden falls through with the recession and we're struggling as well, can we have the Me Too clause be reversed still, where if everybody had to drop it to $9 an hour and we, you know, can't afford the $11 anymore, will you also let us drop it to $9 an hour?
I know that speaking with the union, and obviously this was a big concern of theirs. I think when they brought in the Me Too clause, they wanted to protect their wages from going down, but at the same time wanted to make sure that they would get wage increases if the competition increased. I know it's difficult. It's hard to know what's going to happen in the future and with the economy. We feel that, you know, so far competition, even though they've had to lower their prices, that a lot of them have gone bankrupt and have actually done worse because the employees are not as motivated. They're not as loyal. They haven't been able to produce the same output. We feel that if you keep the base wage where it's at, that would be more. We would feel like you can't tie it to the Me Too clause to have the wage reduced. We feel that we would rather have the wage kept at a base rate agreed upon for $11, for example, but you could reduce the amount of hours, you know, worked or whatnot. If work was to really drop down and the demand not there, we would rather drop the amount of hours worked than the wage.
Okay.
That sounds.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that as well.
Okay.
So then we have at $11 an hour, and then going back to having incentive, but to make sure that there's no safety issues and to still have goals be attainable. And then if there's any issues with if we can't afford to pay, you know, the $11 an hour, instead of cutting the pay, we just reduce work hours. Right? Is that everything we covered?
Correct.
Okay, that all sounds fine to me.
Great. Sounds like that would be great to be able to give our news back to our employees and to the union. I think this would help keep them. This would, of course, reduce any kind of need for any strike or bad feelings between the employees of Local 190 and Baxter Management. And then I think that's honestly it as far as the final contract. I think that's what we just need to make sure when it says have, what does it say? I think, didn't it on there say that, is it each of us have to put in a contract or just one person put in a contract?
Oh, I thought it was what? So you write up the final contracts as a team.
Okay.
When everyone comes back, you have 20 to 30 minutes to negotiate a final contract. Okay.
Is that what we just did?
Yeah. I thought so.
Oh yeah, and it says one of the discussion leaders turns the contract into the instructor. So as long as if we've agreed upon a contract, put up here.
And it was a letter or something that I have something started typed up so I can submit something. We had to write a letter or something that just looked like the official contract, right?
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
Okay, well, this is a few sentences, but I'll see if I can turn it into some sort of fancy looking contract, I guess.
Well, do you have the points of it, or do you want us to go over and make sure we've got everything, or do you already have the points written down on that your notes there?
So I wrote a little bit about what we my group originally had talked about, but other than $11 and then incentive and talking about the safety needs to improve and reduce work hours, and then the importance of the employees, then management takes over. Other than that, is there anything else that I would have to? Oh, it's less employee.
We reduced that 52 week to 26 week.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. 26-week layoff. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, basically, the union feels that it should be plenty of time, 6 months to give someone to get back on their feet and find a new job. Should be fine.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, no, this will be fine. I think I have. So then other than the 26-week layoff, was there anything else I missed?
I don't think so.
I think that was the gist of it.
Okay, and then Bryson, was there one more thing we had to read, or did we cover all of it? Oh, direct your team to debrief and end notes. Tell them they can read it. Okay, you guys can read it on your own, and it's due by due date too.
Oh, okay.
That looks like that's the last thing.
What are the end notes? Is that just what ended up being agreed upon?
Oh, yeah. So there's another reading.
Oh, good heavens. Jeez.
It looks like it's talking about the strike and.
Is that the one we're supposed to read together, or we just read it on our?
It says we can read it on our own, and it's due by due date too.
Alrighty.
To read it, there's nothing like. Oh, and then there's a quiz. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, and then there's a quiz with it. Yeah.
Oh goody.
But other than that, it looks like we're good.
So is there a leader on the doohickeys assignment this week, or?
I believe it's me too. I'm just taking over this week. So, did everybody sign up? I know that I signed up, and then of course this week got crazy, and so I haven't looked at it since I signed up.
I haven't even taken a look at it, so I apologize. I still need to sign up for a part.
Okay, so we have Molly on problem 1. I think I am problem 2.
Yeah, so we need a problem.
And then introduction, it looks like, because Bryson's already got us on most critical problem, and then Aaron's got conclusion.
I can do that. I haven't done a problem yet, so I can do a problem.
Okay.
So
All right,
you guys already have your problems written out, though, so I make sure I don't duplicate anything.
Mine's all done.
I don't have anything. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I just finished mine up, so mine's all done.
You are awesome, and you're moving, doing it all. The lack of discipline, that's what you put as the problem.
Uh-huh.
This is so hard to keep finding problems with the same case.
It is.
Yeah.
I feel like we're just being repetitive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know.
Well, then didn't one of you just say the first one just got graded?
The second one, I don't even think.
Yeah, she graded the second one, not the first one.
Yeah.
So who knows how we did on that one?
Yeah, and then I turned that one in maybe like 10 minutes late because I was waiting for the last part to get in, and apparently she docked us points on that. So.
That's
Did you see the link? She said there was a link with comments or something. I couldn't figure out where that even was.
I think it was at the bottom, and then it's basically just the rubric where it showed what score we got for each criteria,
Oh.
but there wasn't really a lot of like notes or input.
So most of it was because it was late, or what?
No,
Okay.
I'd have to look at it. I think on the problems, like stating the problems, we missed some point, like we didn't get full points there.
Oh.
I'd have to go back and look.
Did she email us a link? Where did you say that she wrote there was a link?
I couldn't find it.
It's in lesson 8. Let me see. I wonder if only the person that turned it in can see it, or are you guys able to see it if you go to...
Oh, like the actual submission? Did she write on the actual?
Yeah. So if you go on the submission at the bottom, there's a link. Assignment, Doohickeys problem, and then it's 85 out of 100 was our score.
Okay.
It'd be cool if she graded those before we got to the next one, so we knew what
Right.
we were doing wrong.
So we could
Before
actually
we get them all turned in wrong. But oh well.
That's a good point.
I guess we're also live right now, so.
Oh, that's right. Here, let me